see when the washing machine has really poor economy rates. The government is looking to ban that kind of efficiency.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's good.
Yeah, those are the flames.
Welcome back to the videos. We are back on the Iron Dan series, Couch to Ironman.
Come on.
In this video, we want to look at marginal gains. How can we improve Dan's swimming, his cycling, and his running to make him more efficient so that he can go for longer with less energy and be quicker? And so we're here with part one. Dan, what are we doing today?
Today, I'm getting a full run fit so that I can run faster, dive deeper, and go harder than ever before. It's all about marginal gains.
It is. It's all about marginal gains. And we're going to go and get this run fit and figure out how we can make this thing a running machine. Let's go. Okay, so we are in a very privileged position today to be able to get Dan put through a really cool program. John, do you want to maybe just introduce yourself, who you are and what we're doing here?
Yeah, my name's John. I'm a physiotherapist and with a specialist interest in running injuries and performance.
John, would you mind just chatting us through what we're going to be doing today with you?
Yeah, so we're going to find out all about your goals. Obviously, you're doing a huge challenge, and we want you to perform as well as possible and not get injured in the process. So basically, we're going to go through a full 3D run assessment where we're going to look at your where you're at now. So have a look at your running, do a 3D gait analysis, see what your running economy is like, see what your strength is like, your mobility is like, and just identify any little flaws in your running style that we can improve today, and hopefully give you stuff to get on with for the next few weeks and hopefully improve your running.
You know that when you're running by yourself, I feel like Kipchoge.
Yeah.
I feel like I am absolutely flying. And then it's going to be like this and I'm going to feel like a walrus.
Yeah, walrus. John, what's the first step? What are we going to do?
First step is to get changed, and then we'll have a sit down and have a bit of a chat about what you want to get out of the session and where you're at now.
T6.
It just goes down the plan because it's just...
6'3", yeah.
That's it, yeah. Toes.
Like, how does this work? How do these cameras work, and how does this setup kind of function?
So what we've got here is we've got two infrared cameras, which basically are just normal digital cameras, and they're programmed to pick up on your body. But each pixel that's picked up also has a distance. It measures the distance between your body basically and the camera.
Right.
So it can generate a 3D image of you running. And then from that, what it'll do is it'll segmentize your body so that it'll almost place points on each of your joints, and it's able to then map how you're running in space. It'll then use a really sophisticated algorithm to measure loads of different stride parameters to do with your running, such as your running economy, your kinematics, so basically the way you move, your kinetics, so the forces involved in your running. So it's really deep just to get that. So I'm just going to measure your ankle mobility here, so it'd be good to get a number on that. So if I get you to kneel down like this, and don't let your heel go.
Okay.
That's it. That's lovely. Excellent. So yeah, really flexy. Your hip mobility here, so that's good. One's coming up a little bit, so we'll have a look there. And there. And there. That's good. And then we'll have a look at your hamstrings. Yeah, super flexy. 1 foot away and then drop off and back up. Yeah, that's perfect. Sorry, hang on a sec. You do 1 second up, down. So.
Oh, sugar, honey.
All right. So, ready. So have a little practice. So. That's it. Okay. Now swap legs. Do the same.
I've got 5.
Do a jump test. So this measures your elasticity.
Okay.
So it's a drop jump.
Okay.
Not great
Jump,
for you though.
like-
So you just step off, land on both feet, and spring back up again. So
Straight leg?
no, just as you would.
Okay.
So you just
All right.
literally bounce.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. It's good.
Okay.
Have another practice.
You might have taken the roof, don't worry.
What do you mean, mate? They call me Michael Jordan.
Perfect, lovely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that now. So you've got a pretty good reactive spring index. So what that is basically your stretch shortening cycle. So when you land on the floor, you stretch all your elastic tissues like your Achilles tendon, and then that stores the energy of the potential energy of you dropping, and then that recoils as you go back up again. And it just gives us a bit of an indication as to how much elasticity you've got. And generally, we can have a look here. So really, I mean, this would be somebody who's not very elastic at all, whereas you are between here and here. So well-established reactive strength ability and intensive.
Oh, John, you sold me down the river, mate.
Appropriate.
You said you've got a great one, and I'm actually just below average.
No, that's not bad, considering this is world-class reactive strength level. So you're looking at Michael Jordan, you're looking
Right, let's
at
go
basketball players.
It's so good. I'm sweating.
Stand in front of the fan for a bit if you want.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
It's all for the cause.
You should feel good about that.
Listen to him. Yeah, he's then going to say 12% efficiency.
But the good thing is you've got loads of potential.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good. Your body's pretty tolerant to sort of elastic recoil and that. So you'd actually do quite well with building up some of this elastic recoil.
Have you seen when the washing machine has really poor economy rating? The government is looking to ban that kind of efficiency.
So yeah, the main thing that we can see here is that your cadence is relatively low. So that's something that we could maybe increase there. Contact times are quite high, so your foot does stay in contact with the floor for quite a long time, which will drive these braking forces up. So I think for you, generally, you're running with the brakes slightly on, and I think if we can sort of take those brakes off, then I think we'll get more running economy, and also if we can try and increase this cadence, that will improve your running economy, but also will reduce the forces as well. So should we have a go? So what we're going to do is going to get Dan back to, actually we'll go to 9 kilometers an hour, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to get a metronome, and we're just going to have a little play with trying to change your cadence to see if it has an effect.
Okay.
So I like to try change the easy things first, and then at a later date, if we need to do some fine tuning, then we can do that. And I'm just going to press play, set to 165 beats per minute, and you've got to try and match it with your steps.
Okay.
And then I'm going to retest at this speed. Wow. Now that's a very good result. How does that feel?
Really short. I suppose because I feel like I'm used to long strides. I feel like in order to get the cadence, I'm like doing that.
It does take a little while to get used to it, about 6 weeks I'd say.
It definitely feels like I'm not hitting the ground as hard.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, there we go. What do you think?
Whoa,
It's a little bit of
already?
just a little bit different.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's
no,
crazy.
Really, really good. That's, yeah.
I can't believe that's just through one change. Like just increasing cadence has just improved that much.
Yeah, cadence doesn't always work, but in this case, it's worked really, really well for you. It's just, it's basically taking your brakes off. So you can see, it's just taking your brakes off. It's reduced your contact times, and it's increased your elasticity, and that's where we want to be really. And the good thing is increasing your cadence actually reduces the loads on your knee. So if you've had a previous knee injury, it can really help with that. Cadence is a very, very good thing to work on. So there's a matter of you practicing now. You can download a metronome app, set it to 165 beats per minute, and then just put it on the loudspeaker. And when you're doing your kind of cadence interval, you just stick it on and try and match it for the minute.
Okay.
So I can give you a program for you to gradually increase that, and over 6 weeks. And then if you wanted to, you could come back.
Yeah.
Have another look, see if you've got used to it, and see if there's anything else you want to do. Just with how much energy we've saved from changing your running stride there, you've saved energy by 11.6%. So for a marathon, that's around 432 calories. That's quite a few Mars bars that you don't have to eat on the way around, or gels that you don't have to eat on the way around. It's quite a lot, really.
Just had the run fit for Dan. What did you think? How was that? What's your summary?
I'm so surprised. I think I came into the run fit with the least expectation because I just didn't really know what you could change with running. But it was so in depth, and there were so many different things, so many aspects that we went through. I think for me, the cadence bit is the bit I need to work on the most, because just increasing the cadence improved efficiency by 10%.
Yeah, mental.
I couldn't believe that. Went from a D to an A.
Yeah, that's not a marginal gain. That's a huge gain.
Yeah,
10%
honestly.
over marathon distance.
Yeah.
Mental.
I couldn't believe it.
Right guys, stage 2 of the quest for free speed. We are at the pool today doing some swim analysis, seeing how we can gain efficiency, gain speed, gain endurance in our swimming via simple free changes. I did some swim analysis the other week, so my swimming was filmed. It's going to be analysed today with Coach Joe and the TFN Triathlon Club to see what we can change. Hopefully it's okay, but we all think we look like Michael Phelps until the camera comes on.
How many bubbles are coming off your hands?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good thing.
So for you see, yeah, definitely the overhead shot that you are coming in thumbs first. So you might have been taught that as a kid. What I'm thinking is you literally get in and get into that position as quickly as possible so that you can get onto the catch straight away.
Yeah.
God. So thumb coming in first, and you're almost hitting with your elbow first as well. So you've got what we call your overreaching as you come in. Trying to get into breathing every 3 strokes as opposed to every 5. So as we pointed out already, there's a lot of bubbles. We are overextending, coming in thumbs first, and then what you see is then you're going to start to push down. You can see all the bubbles coming off your fingers as you push through that. We'll do some stuff with your hand entry, so things like finger drag. We'll do broken arrow, but we'll break it down so that you do it properly. And then we'll do things with that timing, so like your 6v6 if you catch ups as well.
Right, we have done the swim analysis. What a truly humbling experience. I'll give a full rundown afterwards, but we're now going to jump in the pool and get some drills going to work on the stuff that was seen during the swim. So let's go. Humbling process it is to do swim analysis. You never know what you look like, so you always think you look better than you are. But do you know what? Lots of really good things that I can do to be faster, be more efficient. Even in the session doing the drills, I felt much more of a pop on my stroke. So hopefully that adds to some efficiency and adds to some speed. But thank you for coming.
Okay, just a quick editor's note. We're about to jump into Dan's bike fit, but sadly, quite a few of the files of this part have been corrupted. So to give a quick intro to this section, we went to see our good friend Dan Smith, the professional bike fitter, with the whole intention of trying to optimise Dan's position on the bike to make him more efficient, therefore making him faster for less effort. The 2 biggest things that we touched on were saddle and shoes. But we got some footage of that, so let's jump into that now. But just a quick warning before we do, Dan's shoe choice is very garish, so you might want to look away in 3, 2, 1.
They hardly fit in. They're that big. They don't fit in like 7. You got the grill on.
Yeah.
All right.
Strong grip there.
Thank you. Gone all red.
Yeah.
The Dans are flirting.
Look at that. If there's a frame that matches it. Look at this LA Sprint. That's the shoes, man.
Oh yeah?
It's a 56, which I'm going to say is about your size.
Ali Sprint, good frame. And with Dan's ridiculously massive shoes now properly fitted, heat molded and set up correctly, we moved on to bike technique and saddle choice.
Centre of your knee at the top of the pedal stroke is like somewhere here.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the bottom of the pedal stroke, your kneecap's right over the centre of your foot.
Right.
So right over that blue line. So the angle of force going into your pedal is diagonal. So what we'll do is put a little wedge under your cleats to angle your feet towards your knees, so that when your knees are coming in from that outward position, if we stick a wedge under your cleat, we're just turning the foot towards where the knee's coming from. And then that joint force then becomes a lot more perpendicular rather than angular. And that will help take your feet away from the cranks as well.
So we're going to try a TT saddle.
Yeah, looking at supporting Dan more here, which TT saddles and tri saddles are designed to do. Obviously when you roll forward with your pelvis, it's the front sections of the pelvis that start to contact the saddle more. This saddle in particular is quite a good little hybrid. Like, you can sit fairly far back and then you can also roll forward onto the nose too. We'll see if that works for Dan. So this was the TT or tri-specific saddle that we tested. And in this position, when the pelvis rolls forward, when you get down onto the skis, you're going to look for something really different in the saddle pressure, because you're going to want something that supports the pelvis on the nose of the saddle this time when you roll forward. The important thing is, again, we get separation, we get two separate areas of pressure rather than one big blob of pressure that we had before. That was Dan's original saddle, where there's just no distinct areas of pressure, it's just all over the place. This is the saddle that's turned out best for Dan. Like, they do different iterations of this saddle, different widths, different styles. This is the wide version, 155. This is the narrow version, 145. This one's got a cutout, this one's got a channel rather than a cutout. And this is what they look like with Dan. Wide version over here, and then the narrow version on this side. The thing that worked well with Dan on the wide version is the sit bone position. That was really nice, like a much better position rather than being right on the edges like this one. But we get too much frontal pressure on the nose. And then this saddle with the cutout gave him much better separation of pressure around the front of the saddle and much less pressure around the front of the saddle rather than having that bit of hot spot there. We need a combination of the two. So we need the wide version with the cutout, which we can get for Dan.
Yeah, we've been through quite a few different saddles from Dan's saddle wall. So we're done.
I think we're done.
What was that cheerleader pose? Sports. So what we want to do is we want to try and take the measurements from the static bike, the watt bike, and translate that into something that Dan can then use to buy a road bike, because this is not going to complete an Ironman. Dan says it's going to be quite difficult because it doesn't follow a sort of normal bike geometry, but I trust him.
We'll take contact point measurements and then manipulate them to make a geometry.
So what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward and then we'll tell you all the measurements. 5 hours later. What have we done here, Dan?
This is set up there or thereabouts. The saddle height is not perfect or whatever, but the geometry of that is set up to the 56 Imonda.
The one that we found on eBay.
Buy it now.
And without adjusting anything in particular, it fits really well.
It fits good. Yeah! Got a bike, mate! You got a bike! Great. Done, mate. Smashed it. Anyway, that is the end of our little marginal gains series. Dan is now a more efficient and faster runner.
Come on.
You're a beautiful, graceful swimmer. And you have all the watts on the bike. We hope that you've enjoyed this series. Any questions, drop them down in the comments below. And I know you've been waiting a long time for the Iron Dan series. And we're back. And we've got so much more planned in the future. If there's anything else that you want to see, drop a comment, let us know. Thanks for watching. It means a lot. Cheers. Done.
Come on.
Right, mate, let's go.
Right. Did I tell you that I'm going to have to go to hospital?
What?